What's going on, guys? Back at you again with another video on using FinViz. So, as many of us know, right now is earnings time. Or maybe it's a little late for this video, but either way, it still needs to be out there because there are plenty of earnings calls still going on for tons of companies that are traded in the stock market. So, a lot of questions you'll get, or a lot of questions you hear is, how do you trade earnings plays, or when do you know earnings are coming up? Which company is going to have their earnings call at what time, and I'm here to clear that up for you. So for those of you that are interested in getting into learning how to play earnings calls, I'm going to give you a brief kind of rundown on how you can start getting your feet wet into that area of trading, okay? It's not my go-to thing, but either way, we still need to have that content out there for any of those that you have questions or would like to start getting into that particular style of trading. Earnings calls can be very easy and very profitable. On the same token, they can be very risky, to play. So there's some people that really don't like to play them, and there's some people that love playing them. Now, if you get really, really good, and I promise you, if you get really, really good at being able to read, SEC filings and financial reports. So if you're a student in college who is working their way into an accounting degree or some type of finance degree, at some point in your college, your college adventure, you're going to have to learn how to read some type of financial report when you're going through accounting class or some type of finance class. I guarantee at some point you're going to have to learn how to read a financial report, okay? And if you can learn to do that and be very good at it and understand what all that gibberish and all those text lines and all those, areas of accounting are in those financial reports, if you can learn to do that, you can absolutely become a super, super profitable trader just trading earnings reports. So every quarter is going to be your time to be in the market. Okay, but for those that are beginners and not that experienced, let's just dive into a really simple way of doing it, and that's by using FinViz. So right now we are online on finviz.com, and also I want to point out something. When you come to FinViz's home screen, it gives you the breakdown of the three major exchanges, the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P 500. Now I want to show you what a really, really bad day in the market looks like. Yesterday the market was down 200 points. That's accumulated of all the exchanges, but down 200 points. Look what the market looked like. Down here in this bottom right, we have all this red. This is basically a simple grid that groups together all the major sectors that make up the whole stock market all together. And as you can see, they're all red. And within these different sectors, the names that you'll see, the big ones like Google, Facebook, Microsoft, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, these the big ones, the reason you see the big names is because they're the biggest stocks or biggest companies within that sector. But as you can see on a broad overview, the whole market was extremely red in almost every single sector except utilities. So when going into FinViz, real quick, always take a look at the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P, and then take a look at this grid, and that will give you a quick rundown overview of seeing which sectors did bad or which sectors are doing poorly and which ones are doing well, and that can help you allocate exactly where you may want to start playing your money in the market. You don't want to be playing somewhere that's red unless you're shorting, of course. All right, so going on to it, like always, if you want to try and find yourself good earnings plays, just hop over here into the screener, okay? Just by going into the screener doesn't mean you're going to find good earnings plays, but you're going to be able to quickly figure out which companies are having earnings plays based on your criteria. All right, let's get this ad out of here. All right, so from here, I'm just going to go ahead and click all and just bring up every single possible scan criteria that I could enter. All right, so over here, if you follow my cursor, you will see earnings date. People don't understand the power of FinViz, okay? FinViz is incredibly sophisticated for being a free stock scanner online, all right? If you are the type of person that doesn't have time to trade in the morning, but have time to trade in the afternoon, maybe due to a work schedule or your kids or whatever the case may be, different hobbies, or if you're someone who has to work in the afternoon and only has time to trade in the morning, there is something out there for you, okay? Looking at this right here, I clicked on earnings dates. I could go ahead and simply click today, and that will pull me up all the earnings that are coming out today. Or if I want to, shrink it down a little bit and cue in and leave a little bit closer, I could say I only have time to trade in the morning, so I want to find the stocks that are having their earnings call come out before the market opens, okay? I have time to trade a few hours before the market opens, or I have time to wake up, get ready before the market opens. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find stocks that are having their earnings call in the morning. So I could simply just click that guy, and now I'm going to scan for all the stocks that have their earnings call this morning. And now I have a total of 25 stocks, which isn't that many, okay? It's not that many, but those 25 stocks could be bringing up stocks that are $100, $200, $500 that are maybe way out of your price range. So now you go, okay, let me size it down a little bit. That's still too much. I don't want to do that much research, okay? Or I don't trade stocks that are 500 bucks, all right? So let's go over here to price, and now you can simply say, I'll search for stocks, earnings calls coming out this morning, price below $10. Fantastic. Now we have 15 stocks that we could pick from that could potentially be winners today based on earnings calls, or they're going to be losers today based on earnings calls, okay? So for those of you who have questions on the earnings and all that stuff, simply go to FinViz and you can just pick earnings date either before the market opens, during the market, or after hours, and then you can pick your price point. And of course, if you want to go ahead and add in, different, search scans, whether it be relative volume, a specific pattern you'd like your stock to be in, you can do that, and that is absolutely fine by me, by yourself, by whoever. Whatever works best for you, go ahead and do it. But I'm simply showing you just by clicking the earnings date and your price point, you'll be given a list. And the list isn't going to be huge because not every single day companies are doing earnings reports. Now from here, obviously you know the trick. You're going to go in, you can go ahead and you could click on any one of these given stocks, and you can see, all the information on them. From here, you'll be able to see the short float. Short float is only 6.54 million. The share float is 6. You could just call it 7 million, with a short float interest of only 0.48%. So, just to recap right here, short float. When the short float, let me put it this way. When we see anything below 20 million short share float, the share float, it kind of determines how quickly a stock is going to move. So if it's below 20 million, we kind of consider that pretty low, and we could expect to see quick price movements. And then the short float is the amount of the float that is actually being shorted. Okay, so only 0.48% of the actual float is shorting the stock, signaling that you're not going to get short squeezes, and you shouldn't expect a big drop from it due to shorts. All right, but we can go into stuff like that later. All right, so now that we have picked out, a few stocks, you can go through and say, yeah, look at this one is just hitting support right now. If you look at, back in June, it tested the level of 431. Then in the middle of June, it tested just below 430. And now, mid-August, it has come down to test that 431, 430 area once again. So you could say to yourself, this is sitting right on support. If we have a good earnings call this morning, we could definitely see this thing bounce, and we could definitely see it shoot up just because the fact we're on support. And if they have a good earnings call, stocks tend to go up. It's just the way it is. So based on what we have here, we can get ourselves a little watch list going, okay? You could say, yeah, I'm particularly interested in most of the stocks below $5 or below $10. Now we get a list together of all the stocks we want, and now we can put them on a watch list on whatever, a trading platform you have. Whatever it's E-Trade, TD Ameritrade, doesn't matter. Now you can get yourself a watch list of all these stocks, all right? Another quick helpful tip, if you trade on Robinhood, right, and you take any of these tickers, so we have AUXO, CHKR, and CTIB, whatever they are, you could take all of those tickers and you can then put them into your watch list on Robinhood, and then Robinhood does a lot of the work for you. If you have the ticker symbol in there, it will actually provide you a link for each ticker to join the earnings call. So if you want to actually take the time to sit on the phone and listen to their earnings call to get the inside scoop on everything, before just hearing it on a news or a press release. If you want to sit down and actually listen to the earnings calls, and the CEOs talking, and the people within the company actually talking about their progress that they made this quarter, you can do that, and Robinhood does the work for you. All right, so there's another quick helpful tip. All right, so this is just simply finding stocks, having earnings call, pre-market, after hours, during the day, whatever time you want to trade. By your price. Now you can filter out which ones you do or you don't like. Maybe you don't like them based on the pattern that they're showing, or maybe you do like them based on the pattern showing. And now you grow yourself a watch list for the day, and you can simply just trade earnings calls. Simple as that. You can just simply trade the stocks that are having good earnings and now have the potential to make a nice move today. Maybe it's 5, 10%, it doesn't matter. Now you have a game plan set. All right, guys. Now, that's going to cover it. And just for any of those that are still going to be watching in on this video, if you don't know what I do, I am a stock trader, and I'm kind of an investor myself. Now, I'm a part of a group called TechBud Solutions, and ideally what we do is we promote best practices when it comes to trading, when it comes to investing, or any type of entrepreneurship, lifestyle that we live or that we're aiming to become. We just share our best practices. We promote healthy trading, and really what we do is provide a very helpful community, okay? We have a Facebook group of more than 35,000 people, and this was all started by Ricky Gutierrez, and if you don't know who he is, you should definitely search his name in YouTube and you will find him. He has tons of videos on trading. He's a technical trader. He likes to find bounce plays and so on and so forth. And he does a lot of other cool things. I'm a momentum trader. But long story short, we have a group called TechBud Solutions. The link will be in my Facebook. Link in the description will lead you to Facebook and where you can join it. And I also have a link down there to the actual Discord chat room, where every morning we're on there talking about stocks, talking about pre-market movers, talking about potential stocks. And the reason you want to be in environments like this is because when you're surrounded by so much of it, you just learn it so much faster. The lingo, you pick it up. Some of you guys may not know what HOD means when someone types it out. That means high of day. These are the type of terms and terminology you will pick up over time by being in these chat rooms. And lastly, I forgot to mention Bradley. Bradley is also a part of TechBud Solutions, and he runs the OTC stock chat and chat room within Discord, and he's really knowledgeable when it comes to trading over-the-counter stocks. And if you're not familiar with over-the-counter stocks you could look it up, or simply join our Facebook group and get in our chat room, and you can go ahead and find Bradley under the OTC sub-channel or text channel within the main channel, and that way you can start answering any questions you guys have. Again, I run the momentum trading chat room, so if you guys would like to, join into the link below and then join onto Discord, and we can all become better traders. All right, guys, so I hope you guys liked the video. Let me know what you think, and until next time.